Hello. Welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings, and we generally like to talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video we're going to be talking about a reprint of a game that was released 10 years ago. We're going to be talking about Libertalia, the Winds of Galecrest. And in this game you'll be playing characters onto an island. You'll be taking actions in the daytime, during dusk, and in the nighttime that will allow you to loot booty, that will allow you to win the game. So in this video we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We're telling you what we do like, what we don't like. Then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Libertalia, the Winds of Galecrest, is worth playing today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below. Hit the like button, all that bullshit. I'll see you after this. Bollocks. So, Libertalia, the Winds of Galecrest. How'd you play this game? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to stick the board out in the centre of the table. You'll put the reputation markers randomly in their respective slots. It doesn't matter how many players are going to be playing this game, you'll put all the reputation markers out. This game takes place over 3 voyages, and each voyage will have a different number of days, right? First voyage will have 4 days, the second voyage will have 5 days, and the final voyage will have 6 days. What you do, you dig into the bag of booty tokens and you'll place 1 booty token per player in each of the boxes, depending on what voyage you're sailing in. One player's going to take their deck, they'll draw 6 character cards, and the rest of the players will draw the exact same character cards to form a deck. You'll look at your position on a reputation track, and then you will get that many doubloons. So when you actually start playing a game, what are you going to do? Everybody's going to choose 1 character from their hand. They'll put it face down in front of them, and then in unison everyone will reveal their character card. Each character has a number from 1 to 40, and what you do, you place these in ascending order, with the lowest character on the left hand side of the island space, and then the highest character on the furthest space on the right hand side. Ties are broken through reputation, right? The further to the right you are on the reputation track, the further to the right on the island track you're going to place your character. So the next thing you're going to do, from left to right, you will activate any daytime symbols. You work your way through the characters until you get to the character with the highest number, and then what you do, the player with the highest number will then pick one of the booty tokens for the day that you're sailing on, right? Then what you do, you'll activate any dusk symbols that are on either the character or the booty token, going from right to left. Once you've done that, if your character is still on the island, you will place them in your ship, which is the tableau in front of you, and then you'll activate any night effects that are on the character cards in your ship. If you're ever instructed to discard one of your character cards, you'll take it from your ship or from the island and you'll dump it in your graveyard, which is the weird looking tile thing like the final scene out of the Goonies. So once you've gone through all the days of the voyage, when you get to the end of the voyage, then you'll activate any anchor symbol. No, not wanker symbol, anchor symbols, right? Yeah, you activate any anchor symbols, and then you will add up all the doubloons that you made in that voyage, and you'll alter your treasure chest dials. Then you'll discard all the loot tokens that you got. You'll get rid of all the characters in your ship, and then you'll draw another 6 cards, and you'll add the characters that you didn't use in the previous voyage to your hand, so you'll have a bigger and the character cards, right? Again, you'll look at your reputation track, you'll get that many doubloons, and you'll keep doing this for 3 voyages, and then the player with the most doubloons on their treasure chest will be the winner of Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest. So what do we like about Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest? So the first thing that we like about this game is the huge amount of characters in the game, right? There's 40 in this iteration of the game. The older one had 30, but this has got 40. So you got 10 more, right? So you might end up playing the scout, and it says for the daytime phase, discard the scout, immediately choose another character from your hand and place it on the island according to its rank, shifting the other characters as needed, right? You might end up with the explorer, and in the dust phase you gain a map token and you gain 2 reputation. Map token is a booty tile, and all booty tiles have different special abilities, right? So for instance, you might have picked up a chest, and that will at the end of a voyage give you 5 doubloons. You might have picked up a hook, and this at the end of a voyage allows you to keep the character in your ship for the next voyage or gain 2 doubloons. You might have picked up a saber, and this allows you to discard another player's character from your island. You can kick them off the island, right? It says you can kill them, but you're not allowed to say that these days, are you? You might have a barrel, and in the dust phase it gives you 1 reputation. At the end of the voyage it will give you 1 doubloon. Or you might have the really nasty relic, and this says you have to lose 3 doubloons at the end of a voyage, right? So a lot of these cards are dependent on what booty tiles you pick up, right? So you might have the top man, rather go to John Collier's myself, but there you go, bit of an 80s geezer, you know what I mean? And it says, in the night phase, gain 4 doubloons and then lose 1 doubloon for each character in your ship. Or you might end up drawing the governor, and it says, in the day phase, discard all characters from your ship, gain 1 reputation for each character discarded in this way, right? So there's a plethora of choice and variation in these character cards, right? So the next thing that we like about Libertalia, the Windsor Galecrest, is the component quality is off the charts, and this is a hallmark now for Stonemaier Games. They always push the boat out with the quality of the components, and if you look at the booty tokens in the original, they were just cardboard cut out tokens, but these are really nice chunky plastic tokens. The card stock is really, really nice. You've got those dials which stop you from using a scoring track, right? It might be a little bit easier, might not be a little bit easier, because my maths is complete shit and I've buggered it up a couple of times with these, right? But all in all, you cannot fault the attention to detail and the way that Stonemaier Games produces their games. It's absolutely astonishing. So the final thing that we like about this, and this is a really simple but yet clinical idea for me, they've printed the booty tiles on the board, right? In the original, you had to sort of remember what all the booty tiles did, and me being one of those thick idiots could never remember what they did, but now they are printed on the board, and hey presto, this gives rise to something else. They've included other booty tiles to put over the top. You've got 2 sides of the board, so not only have you got variation on the board, but you've got variation on what booty tiles you could put out, right? And this makes the prospect of an expansion for this even more tasty. So what don't we like about Libertalia, the Winds of Galecrest? So the first thing that we don't like about this game, and this is a contradiction of one of our other points, the fact that we celebrated the fact there was more characters, is that in giving you more characters, not only is there going to be less chance of the original characters coming out, but a lot of the new characters are reliant on the new reputation system. And it's not always the case that reputation is going to be important, because if you are ahead on the reputation track and you draw a load of characters like the captain, for instance, who in the day phase says advance to the rightmost space on the reputation track, lose 1 doubloon for each position going this way. Or another example of the cards that rely on reputation is the officer, and it says in the day phase, if you have 12 or more doubloons, gain 2 reputation, otherwise gain doubloons until you have a total of 12, right? So a lot of these new cards are dependent on the reputation track, and where reputation isn't really that important. A lot of the times when I played this, a lot of people don't really even pay attention to reputation. Then you might end up with a load of cards that refer to it when you don't really want it. And whilst there's more cards in the deck, having a lot of them that rely on reputation is a bit of a bummer. So the second thing that we don't like about this game is that the artwork in this new version isn't in keeping with the theme, right? What they've done is they've removed all of the grittiness and the raw nature of the graphics in the original, and they've transplanted it with anthropomorphic animals. So you've got a rat as a beggar, right? You've got a horse as a bandit, you've got a turtle or a tortoise as a preacher, and you've got a walrus as the smuggler, right? So I don't know. Whilst the artwork's all right, it's got the same type of artwork as that flicking game Catacombs, right? I just much preferred the gritty nature and the aesthetics of the original. They've managed to suck the life out of this game, right? It's like looking at your favourite painting in monochrome, yeah? It's the same painting, but there's just no life to it, and it just looks too clinical, right? I don't know why they chose to remove the piratey theme and put this sort of crap in there, but I just don't like it at all. So the final thing that we don't like about this one is that when you kill or discard a character, right, you have to discard it from the island, right? Whereas in the original, you discard it from your ship. And in doing so, that means that the person who has their character discarded doesn't get to take a booty token, or at least that's the way I interpreted it in the rulebook. And this means that you are going to miss out by quite a bit. You're not going to be able to get that money. You're not going to be able to kill any other characters. I just prefer the rule in the original where you get to kill somebody from your ship. And this makes more sense because the characters in your ship are going to activate in the night phase. There's really no point in killing characters on the island. They might not be activated in the dusk phase. It's just really frustrating that they had to change such a basic but important rule. So to summarise, is Libertalia the Windsor Galecrest worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we're going to say yes, and that is because this is the only version of the game you're going to be able to get your hands on unless you trawl the internet for a second-hand copy of the original. That means if you really, really want to play Libertalia today, then you're going to have to put up with the dog's dinner that they have made of this version. I like the game Libertalia, I really do love it, but they've managed to rip the guts out of this game and just splash a load of sterile paint all over it, yeah? They've taken the gritty nature, the wonderful artwork, the risks that Marabunta took with the original game, and they've removed everything that made the game a modern classic. I really wish I'd never played the original Libertalia and then played this, because then maybe I wouldn't know what I was missing. But then, even if I hadn't played it, I probably would passed over this one, because like I said before, the game itself is really, really good. And this is a wonderful example of how much theme can make the difference between a good game and a mediocre game, yeah? Because the theme in this one, for me anyway, is largely absent, and that makes and breaks the game for me. So whilst I do recommend Libertalia, if you do have the option between this one and the original, I would definitely go for the original. If you can't get hold of the original and you like that sort of sterile, washed out, stripped back nature of this one, then by all means go for it. Otherwise, maybe part with a few extra quid and go for the original game. So there you go. That is Libertalia, the wins of Galecrest. Remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Hit the like button, subscribe, and all that bullshit. And we'll see you next time.